Well, good evening and welcome to the City of Pasco Council meeting. The council thanks you for being part of our city government. At meetings, the city council takes formal action on items, holds public hearings, and conducts other business of the city. Agenda packets are available on the City of Pasco's website at www.pasco-wa.gov/agenda. This meeting is also being televised live on PSC-TV, Channel 191 on Spectrum Cable in Pasco and Richland, and is streamed on the city's Facebook page, website, YouTube channel, and Microsoft Teams webinar. This and previous council meetings video is available on the city's website. Lastly, the public may submit their comments and or questions by contacting the city manager, city clerk, or by using the Ask Pasco app. So with that, can we get a roll call?
Thank you. Councilmember Barajas.
She is excused, so I guess she's...
Thank you. Councilmember Blaisdell.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Grimm.
Here.
Councilmember Harpster.
He's excused as well.
Okay. And Councilmember Prowlis.
Here.
Mayor Milne.
I am here.
Thank you. So
All right.
sorry.
Well, with that, it's a long week. So with that, let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so we're going to move on to 4, which is the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by roll call vote as one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If further discussion is desired by council members, the item may be removed from the consent agenda to the regular agenda and considered separately. So do we have anybody that had any, not see anything, so let's move. So 4A, approval of meeting minutes from August 18th and August 25th. Bills and communications, approving claims in a total of $7,813,521.95. Part C is ordinance number 4785, amending PMC section 5.05.170, exemptions related to business licenses. 1D is resolution number 4642, amend and restated interlocal cooperative agreement, Tri-Cities Home Consortium 2026, 2027, and 2028. Resolution number 4643, project acceptance for the West Pasco Water Treatment Plant Phase 2. And with that, Mayor Pro Tem, can I get a motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Grimm, and we have a second by Councilwoman Blaisdell. Can I get a roll call?
Councilmember Blaisdell.
Yes.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm off a little bit tonight, so sorry. Councilmember Prowlis.
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem Milne, or Mayor Pro Tem Grimm,
Yes.
and Mayor Milne.
That's a yes from me as well.
Thank you. That passes unanimously. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that. So we're going to move on to number 5, which is proclamations and acknowledgements. And we do have a proclamation. So, does Angela Pichon want to say anything, or?
I would be happy to welcome Luann Ayers up, who is going to be receiving the proclamation. And I know that this is a very important proclamation for United Way, so I will hand the mic over to her.
Thank you. Well, it's an honor to be here again this fall as the City of Pasco joins with other municipalities and the school districts, both public and private, to really emphasize that every hour of learning counts with a proclamation supporting Attendance Awareness Month in September. So as a Pasco citizen since the year 2000, it gives me, and the mom of a teacher and the daughter of a teacher, it's just extra special to really have our city leaders recognize the importance of attendance in school, at work, and in life. About 40% of our kids in the K-12 system struggle with attendance. And our United Way, our local United Way, has been really focusing on this since 2012 with the launch of Attendance Matters. Over the last 4 years, we've been working with 9 middle schools and about 750 chronically absent kids. The kids who worked with our mentors all year, about 55% of them were no longer chronically absent at the end of the year. So we consider that a real win. We're launching a pilot project pairing middle schools with their feeder elementary schools. Because what the data shows and what our principals are telling us is attendance challenges now start in kindergarten and first grade. So for parents, for grandparents, for caregivers, for business people, every hour of learning counts, and we appreciate the council's support.
Well, thank you for that. Yes, outstanding job. Very proud that you guys are working so hard in our community. So with this, and I'll come down and, well, actually, I can just come down and read it to you, just to be more personal on this. Right.
Would you like to come to the microphone so everyone can hear you?
Yes, I can speak kind of loud, but yes, proclamation, Attendance Awareness Month, whereas our region is experiencing a school absenteeism crisis, making good attendance more essential than ever to student well-being, achievement, and graduation, thus influencing the career opportunities for the youngest community members as they enter adulthood. And whereas reducing chronic absence requires a comprehensive, collaborative approach that starts with preventive and early intervention and support ongoing parent and caregiving awareness of the importance of each hour of school attendance. And whereas improving attendance and engagement takes families, school systems, business owners, and employees, elected leaders, and other community partners working together to address the factors that cause students to miss school and those that increase student attendance. And now therefore I, David Milne, Mayor of City of Pasco, Washington, do hereby proclaim September 2025 Attendance Awareness Month and encourage all residents to join in and stand with the nation in its commitment to the academic success of our students by focusing on reducing absenteeism to give all children equal opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive as they gain the knowledge and skills needed for high school graduation, the essential pathway to careers needed in our region. And September 2nd, 2025.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that. Would you mind, Angela, taking a photo? We want to make sure we do a social media shout out so everybody knows what Pasco's doing.
Let's,
Leading the way. Yes.
That we get them all in
Sounds
there,
great.
too.
Of course.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Well, that's my first proclamation as mayor, and boy, was it a good one. So thank you. Very important. So with that, we're going to move on to item 6, which is public comments. The public may address council on any items unless it relates to a scheduled public hearing. This item is provided to allow the opportunity to bring items to the attention of the city council or to express an opinion on an issue. Its purpose is not to provide a venue for debate or for the posing of questions with the expectation of immediate response. Some questions require consideration by council over time and after a deliberate process with input from a number of different sources. Some questions are best directed to staff members who have access to specific information. Citizens' comments will normally be limited to 3 minutes each by the mayor. Those with lengthy messages are invited to summarize their comments and or submit written information for consideration by the council outside of formal meetings. Lastly, when called upon, please state your name and city or county residency into the microphone before providing your comments. And with that, I believe that we have an online one. Let's have them kind of go first. And Zach Poteet, I think it is.
Give me 1 second, Mayor. Let me get Zach's mic able to unmute. Okay, Zach, you should be able to unmute yourself at this point.
Austin, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Hello, City Council. My name is Zachary Poteet. I'm here today because the Pasco Police Department failed to uphold its duty and uphold lawful orders. In doing so, violated both my constitutional rights and Washington state law. On September 17th, 2024 Benton County Superior Court Judge temporary protection order in my case. The order is not vague. It specifically directed Pasco Police to serve the order and ensure the custody of my child. Instead, carrying out this judicial mandate, officers refused. They cited so-called orders and chose not to act, even though state law requires immediate enforcement of protection order. Worse than that, I was subjected to a retaliatory order based on illegal bond requirements, something that Washington statutes explicitly forbid. This was not an error of judgment. It was a direct violation of RCW 26.50, RCW 7.105.105, and RCW 36.08.010, as well as my 14th Amendment rights to due process and equal protection. Let me be clear when I say this. Parental custody is a fundamental liberty interest. The courts, not the police officers, but the courts, decide custody and protection order. When law enforcement ignores a court order, they are not exercising discretion. They are neglecting their duty as law enforcement officers. The refusal has caused me serious pain and mental struggle. It stripped, and it not only that, it stripped me of my statutory protections, and it basically I've had to undergo a lot of counseling and therapy because of this. Council members, I'm just asking you to take accountability. The city must ensure that its police department enforces these orders consistently and without retaliation. Families in Pasco cannot afford to have their rights subjected to selective enforcement. I want to be very direct. If this matter is not resolved through a settlement outside of court, I will be filing a federal lawsuit against the city of Pasco. It will be for the amount of $1 million. That lawsuit will seek compensatory damages for the harm I've suffered and the punitive damages against the individual officers involved, and also for attorney fees. You have the opportunity to prevent further harm to me, my child, and to the city. I urge you to take corrective action and to hold this department accountable and to resolve this matter however we can figure it out before taking it further in federal court.
All right, well, thank you for that. I'm aware of your case. I would suggest if you want the other council members, you can email them separately, but I am aware of this, and that's all I can say on this issue. So do we have anybody in the audience that would like to make a public comment? You, sir?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, my name is Roger Wright. I live in Willoway, West Pasco. Been out there for 39 years. I'm also a commissioner for Franklin PUD, although I'm not on official PUD business this evening. I was invited by Councilmember Perales to come share my opinions about an important issue. First, though, I want to share my thanks for Councilmember Perales. Earlier this year, he reached out to our church service group, justserve.org, to take care of a community service project. He could have left the request right there. He showed up in his work clothes, swung a sledgehammer, picked up debris, and so very much appreciate that he came out and did real work. Not that this isn't real work. At that service project, though, I asked Mr. Perales about some things we had going on at the PUD, specifically due to homelessness issues around the PUD, and I asked who's the expert at Pasco about homeless issues, and in his opinion, he shared that he didn't think there was one. For that, the reason I asked that question is we've been discussing at the PUD about our facility at 14th and Clark and some of the issues we have down there with people living under staircases and entryways and things like that. We're looking at what our future building plans are, and I asked the question, can we be here in 10 or 15 years at 14th and Clark? My personal opinion is we can't if it continues to go the way that it has gone, and so I feel like there needs to be more work done on this. In my PUD responsibilities, I travel to Spokane every month, and the homeless issue downtown Spokane is even worse. We used to meet at the US Bank building downtown. Got to the point where we had armed guards in the foyer, so last year we moved out to the valley for safety reasons. Actually, about 3 years ago, I was attacked myself downtown Spokane on the way from the Grand Hotel over to the U.S. Bank building at 7:30 on a Wednesday morning by someone living on the street. It's unacceptable to me. I don't want to see our city get like that. So that's why I think that we need to do more here. I don't see enough happening, and I would encourage the council to show the needed leadership and establish a working group of staff members, citizen volunteers, and housing experts. Let's talk about this and see what we can do to improve it in our city, improve situations in our city. I will say that smarter individuals than us have not been able to do this, but I believe that if we work together that we can make that happen. Doing nothing is unacceptable. Please don't take my comments as cruel or not being insensitive or lack of compassion. I had an uncle who lived his entire adult life on the street, and I currently have a nephew and a cousin living on the streets, one right here in Pasco. All three of them have had the opportunity for housing, and they choose to live on the streets. They need and deserve better, but they have some responsibility in this. In my opinion, the current situation cannot be successful for the community, for businesses, and certainly for not the people living on the street. I hope the city will take the lead in an effort to improve our community, our citizens, our businesses, and the people living on the street demand it. And if you would proceed, I'd be the first one to volunteer on your citizens group to try to work this out, make it better for everybody. So I think that our community needs it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that. I would always recommend, again, I know I see your building every day since I'm across the street from you guys. Beautiful building, beautiful landscaping, everything. Obviously, we don't want to lose partnership between your building and the city of Pasco, especially that location. I would recommend any other ideas, send things to the council as a whole, and then also you can meet up with our new city manager if you have other ideas and ways that we could collaborate. I mean, everybody of us cares about the city of Pasco very much, and we know the homeless issue is a problem, trying to work around with PD, all that kind of stuff. We, again, want the best for our city, so please send us ideas, and we can go from there. But thanks for your comments. Do we have anybody else in the audience that would like to talk about anything? Got Mary Mahoney, I guess, you're up.
This is on.
It is on.
Mary Mahoney, Pasco resident, to Pasco via RCW 42.56. See my past request to Pasco and Pasco Council on 5525, 6225, 8425, 81825, and more. Pasco's CIP budget paid by our tax dollars is well over $500 million. How much of our tax dollars is going for a low-cost spay-neuter clinic for our dogs and cats and for a low-barrier homeless shelter for our people? How much? Currently, it's at zero. See the Tri-City Herald on 8/31/25. Homelessness for Tri-City families is climbing. What's being done? Again, Pasco's CIP budget with our tax dollars gives nothing and does nothing. How much are we, the taxpayers, paying for the Pasco Aquatic Center? Aquatic Director and former Pasco Mayor Matt Watkins and/or his LLC is paid right around $11,000 per month, plus his travel expenses. Provide his travel schedule and his passport entries. Provide the total cost for Mr. Watkins' Wow Factor wave machine that can cost anywhere from $22 million to $280 million, with each wave costing $160. How much are we, the taxpayers, paying the Tri-City Animal Services to enforce a usage pay system or a bounty put on our dogs and cats? Tri-City Animal Services still denies due process protections, still performs botched, cruel, and barbaric euthanasia methods, and still sends our dogs and cats to WSU for research, where they linger and then they're killed. See Pasco City Attorney Lee Kerr with counsel on 4/1/19 and Animal Control Rehire Angela Zeiler's quote in the Tri-City Herald. Provide all past and present ULID and LID designs for my property with start dates, costs, and a notice to me via U.S. mail. Include all Pasco officials and Pasco employees' communications regarding harassment and retaliation against me and my property. Provide a start date and a permit number 404 for the Road 48 Central Pasco Community Park. Include fecal groundwater contamination reports caused by the floodplain sewer breaks. Include fines paid by spot zoning developers Hayden Homes and Pasco for killing our 8 floodplain American bald eagles and their eaglets. See KNDU News on Earth Day 4/19/22 regarding our floodplain eagles. My comments and my requests are for the record and to put Pasco on notice.
All right, well, thank you for that. Do we have any other members of the audience that would like to make a public comment? Going once. All right, well, you're up next then.
Sorry. I didn't know you guys were here tonight. Good gravy. Think it is live, only live down the block. Anyhow, I'm Amber. Give me a second. As you know, I have been having water pressure issues for way too long, and now they have not only sent their attorneys after me multiple times, including 2 different law firms. My family has been paying the rent in advance for over a year in advance since the beginning. We do not cause problems. We have brought a lot of good things to the community, but this past week they are now coming after my family. So they are threatening to sue my family because I don't have a penny in my bank account, and if what I was stating was false, then they would want to sue me and get some kind of gag order. But the truth is, year after year, month after month, Becky, the first person that ever moved here, is gone. Another resident's gone. More people are wanting to leave. I have a full-time caregiver. I have had what the family thought was a stroke. I was unable to speak, and they're figuratively putting bullet after bullet after bullet into my sinking ship. So at point do I let my family, who has used their generosity to place me into a home, and them be allowed to be sued? Do I stand here day after day begging, pleading with you for help, for water, for basic water? My health is deteriorated. I now am getting more hours for caregiving because my health has deteriorated. Don't have a penny in the bank. The family has sacrificed so much. But do I stand here and risk getting evicted and basically burning up my family's resources, or do I walk away? At what point do I say enough is enough? Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Very sobering. But thank you. Anybody else in council chambers that like to make a public comment? All right, well, not seeing any more, so let's move on to item number 7, reports and committees for our council. And I know there's some things that the council has done. I just want to make a comment that the council, sometimes people think that we don't take time off from work, and I just want to thank the council members for taking time off work. There's some things that we like to do in our community. We can't really name what was going on, but they do take off the whole day, drive to other cities to see what good things that they're doing, and just wanted to give you a heads up that our council really does care about our community. They do try. All this is done at no cost. You don't get paid for it. So just giving you a heads up that we got some amazing council members here, and ones that can't be here tonight, but I'm very proud of the council members that I have on the dais with me, and we'd like to talk about what they're doing, but right now I think it's probably best that we don't. But just want to give everybody in the audience that these guys are working really hard and they really do care. And I don't think we get enough, or they don't get enough kudos for all the hard work they put in to their jobs and the stuff that they want to make our community better. And with that, is there anybody did anything outside of that they'd like to share, or not see anything? So let's move on to number 8, which is hearings and council action on ordinance and resolutions related to thereto. So we're going to go from 8A, which is public hearing and ordinance number 4786, SG Land Management LLC and Desert Bloom LLC annexation, including a portion of Burns Road right-of-way. And we have Director Haley Matson.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Tonight before you is an annexation proposal that was submitted to the city, and all the procedural requirements were met. And for those of you that don't know, an annexation is when a piece of property, usually bordering the city limits, is brought in formally to the city limits outside of the county area. So this is a large piece of land. I believe there's a map. I'll skip ahead a little bit. This is over on the west side of city limits. They're just south of Burns Road, and there are 2 parcels here that are proposed to be annexed in to the city as shown. And this area does fall within the city's pre-plan Broadmoor master plan area, which did extend into the unannexed areas of the city. And I did want to point out a procedural just explain the procedure for the annexation, because it does follow 2 different paths. And for annexations coming into the city, these come to City Council for review and approval, and Council has previously reviewed this application and set the public hearing for tonight. There is also a process that this goes through the hearing examiner to establish the zoning on the property. So once it's in the city, then the city formally zones the property. And that process goes to the Pasco hearing examiner. And the hearing examiner holds a public hearing, gets input from the public on it, and then renders a recommendation that's provided to City Council. So that recommendation has been provided to city staff, and it's currently in the appeal period window. And there are a few residents that are seeking to appeal the zoning determination. If that happens, it'll follow the process outlined in code, which is bringing it forward to council. But I did want to note that in case we did get public comments, that the purpose of the public hearing tonight is specifically for this area of land being pulled into the city. So that's the purpose of this hearing. If there's issues with the zoning that's applied to this later, we'll bring it either to council for approval of the hearing examiner recommendation, or we'd follow the process as advised by legal. I believe it's a closed record hearing to consider an appeal. So tonight we are discussing this area as I described, and the applicant did meet the procedural requirements and submitted the notice of intent to the city on April 2nd. City Council accepted the notice of intent on June 2nd of this year, and the petition was certified to be sufficient on July 23rd by Franklin County. And then the public hearing for this meeting tonight was posted August 8th and published on August 10th. The fiscal impacts to the community are outlined in the staff report, and the surrounding context. To the east, there are properties that still remain outside of the city boundaries, and to the south and to the west, there are properties there along the river that are outside of city limits, generally larger single-family tract development. To the north, there is existing single-family development in Franklin County, and then to the east, there are existing residential developments within Pasco city limits, and to the south is a vacant piece of property. So staff is recommending approval of this annexation request. We believe that all the procedures have been met for this application, and I'm happy to answer any questions, technical questions that you have prior to opening the public hearing, if you'd like.
All right, does any of the members of the council have any questions before we conduct our public hearing? I'm not seeing any, but I do appreciate you mentioning that this is just about the annexation, not about the density, which I have seen things online about this. But yeah, so I appreciate you making a clarification on that. So with that, I'm going to open up a public hearing, and do we have members of the audience that would like to talk about this? You, sir, in the green shirt.
Is it gray or green? Sorry.
Looks green to me, but maybe
Okay.
I'm going colorblind.
I'm Andrew Libert. I am one of the applicants and part of Desert Bloom LLC for the annexation. Can I state my address?
No, we're good.
No? Okay. I live in Pasco, though. This property was included in the City Council's adopted comprehensive plan that was voted on in 2021. Part of the 2018 comprehensive plan update. So it's was within the UGA urban growth boundary that this City Council approved. And so we're just asking for annexation so that we can help meet council's agenda to provide affordable housing. You can't do that without increasing the supply. It's a simple supply and demand economic aspect that you can't keep or help housing get affordable without increasing the supply. And so we're striving to do that. And like Haley said, we've gone through and met all the procedural things, and so we're in favor of having this property annexed.
All right. Well, thank you for that testimony. Do we have anybody else in the council chambers that would like to make a comment on this public hearing? Good. Second, third? Well, I'm not seeing anybody, so let's close the public hearing. And with that, I'd like to have Mayor Pro Tem Grimm do a motion.
I move to adopt ordinance number 4786 relating to annexation and annexing certain real property to the city of Pasco and further authorize publication by summary only.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Grimm and a second by Councilwoman Blaisdell. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Looks like that passes unanimously, so thank you for that. Let's go on to item B, which is public hearing ordinance number 4787.
Mr. Mayor, just to clarify, I didn't actually hear you say, did you?
Oh, I said aye, yeah.
Did you? Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Just want to make sure for the
I
record.
was a little...
Exactly. Well, there's
little
only
dry.
4 of you, so I need all 4.
No,
So-
it was definitely aye on that, so sorry about that. I will say it louder next time. So public hearing ordinance number 4787, amendment to the Pasco Municipal Code, section 25.85.020 related to car washes. And this is also by Director Haley Matson.
Good evening. Tonight before you is a zoning text amendment in the Pasco Municipal Code related to a standard for car washes. And if council will kindly recall, we brought forward, the Community and Economic Development Department brought forward a code change related to drive-through standards throughout the city back in May. And then recently we noticed that there was a code that was not edited in a different section that was in conflict with the new drive-through design standards in code. So staff has revised the reference to car washes in, one moment please. Thank you. In chapter 25, the C1 zoning district, there is a stipulation, item number 14, that states car washes are provided are allowed provided they're located more than 300 feet. And the new code adopted allows car washes to be closer to these designations. So we've gone through and edited this item to still allow for car washes and then direct the applicants to the standards listed in the new drive-through design standards. So this is fixed. The last time I brought this forward to council, I had mentioned that we needed to edit it further. It is now edited correctly, and we have the correct reference in here now, and we've triple checked it, so it should be good to go and will coincide with the code change from earlier this year.
All right,
Happy to answer any questions.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for your hard work on this issue. Yes, we always want to be in compliant and make sure that we're doing the best for our city and all the codes are correct. So with that, do we have any council members that would like to comment or have a question? I'm not seeing anybody, so let's open up a public hearing on this issue. Do we have anybody from the audience that would like to make a comment on this? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. All right, so we're going to close the public hearing. And if I could get a motion, Mayor Pro Tem Grimm.
I move to adopt ordinance number 4787, amending Pasco Municipal Code subsection 258502014 related to car washes in C1 Retail Business District.
Second.
We got a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Grimm. We got a second by Councilman Blaisdell. So with that, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Just make sure you heard that. All those opposed say nay, and it passes unanimously. We're going to move on to number 9, which is ordinance and resolutions not related to hearings. Part A is resolution number 4644, setting time and date for a public hearing for ROW Vacation Rocky Hills Management LP. And we're going to have, wow, this is Director Haley Matson again. You're popular tonight.
Thank you. Tonight before you is a resolution for a right-of-way vacation submittal that the city received. And a right-of-way vacation is when you have a segment of public-owned property, right-of-way, or road that is no longer needed for that purpose. And so the adjacent property owners can petition the city to vacate that area, which means it would no longer be owned by the city and it would be owned by the applicant. And in this case, there is a fragment of an old road that was established back in 1968. It was established as a track in the subdivision in that area. And then there was a deed that was provided in the 1990s that established this as a right-of-way for purposes of extending, I believe, Road 104. And that piece of segment is determined to no longer be needed by the city for road purposes or anything associated with the thoroughfare. So the applicant's requesting to vacate it, and the applicant has met the procedural submittal requirements for this. And when we bring this back to council, assuming a date is set, staff will go through the criteria that is used to approve these vacations. So the purpose of tonight, through this resolution, is to set a public hearing date, and that is what staff is requesting, that hearing be set for 7 p.m. on Monday, October 20th. Happy to answer any questions.
All right. Does any council members have any questions for Director Haley? Doesn't look that way. So with that, if I could get a motion, Mayor Pro Tem Grimm.
I move to approve resolution number 4644, setting 7 p.m. Monday, October 20th, 2025 as the date and time for a public hearing to consider vacation of a portion of Road 104 right-of-way as established by special warranty deed under Auditor's File number 505754.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Grimm, and we have a second by Councilwoman Blaisdell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Looks like that passes unanimously. So let's go on to B, which is resolution number 4645, approving 2025 through 2027 Pasco Police Commanding Officers Association Collective Bargaining Agreement. And I guess it's Sarah Manson, Director.
Does this work now? Oh, okay. All right, good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm here tonight with Captain Bill Paramore and Captain Brian Vaught. I thought you were coming up here.
You guys look so sharp without
I
your
asked.
uniforms.
He tried to leave me hanging right there.
I asked, and he told me he was going to be up here. They both played critical roles in negotiating the successful collective bargaining agreement for the Pasco Police Commanding Officers Association. As outlined in your agenda report in your packet, this agreement covers our lieutenants and captains and is effective from 2025 through 2027. We began negotiations in fall of 2024 with Captain Paramore, who helped set the foundation and then stepped away to go to the FBI Academy. Captain Vaught took over and led the team through the final stages of bargaining. The association ratified the tentative agreement on 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. The contract was bargained in good faith and reflects a fair, responsible outcome that supports both operational stability and leadership retention. It directly aligns with the city's goals of community safety and financial sustainability. With that, I respectfully recommend council approve of resolution number 4645, and I'd like to hand it over to Captain Paramore and Vaught.
If you combine our names, it's Vautamore, if you would like to do so. So just on behalf of the Commanding Officer Association with the Police Department, I'd like to thank council for giving us this opportunity to come before you. Specifically, Director Mattson and her staff, we entered this interest-based bargaining in the fall, as she said, and I want to thank her for her team's professionalism and collaboration as we went through that process. It's a reflection, this agreement is a reflection of our shared commitment to both the employees who we serve and the community as well. And we just want to thank Sarah and her team again for the strong partnership.
Well, thank you for that. I know it's always nice to hear such kind words to city staff, so thank you for saying that. It means a lot to us on the council to hear good things about our staff. So with that, anybody have a question or comment? We have Councilman Leo Perales.
I'll make a quick comment. I know many of us haven't talked that much, but a lot of these things are kind of self-explanatory. So for the people out there, I don't think we're really that quiet of a council, but every once in a while. No, I just want to say thank you for all your guys' hard work. I think, looking at these numbers, it really doesn't, it's not a lot for sacrifices that you guys make. And so I just want to say thank you on behalf of myself and the council. Keep up the good work, and looking forward to see more good work out of you guys. So really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I can't say enough how pleased I am to have such a great police force. So thank you for your hard work. Well, with that, I would like to have Mayor Pro Tem Grimm give a motion.
I move to approve resolution number 4645, approving the 2025 to 2027 collective bargaining agreement with the Pasco Police Commanding Officers Association.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Grimm, and we have a second by Councilwoman Blaisdell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Again, pass unanimously. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
So with that, we are going to roll into number 10, which is unfinished business. I'm not seeing anything. So let's roll into number 11, new business. Do we have anything? Nope. So let's roll into number 12. Miscellaneous discussion. Is anybody on the council? We'll start off with Councilman Leo Perales.
I will be quick. As you know, it's football season. So our high school football sports start on Thursday. Chiawana versus Sageview at Edgar Brown, 7 p.m. And then Pasco Bulldogs are taking on Southridge over at Lantern Stadium, also at 7 p.m. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys there.
All right. Sounds like fun. Everybody, I know I love football, so I'll try to make it. We'll see. Let's go with Mayor Pro Tem Grimm.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No, I just want to make a note. I know sometimes, we have people here and there that are gone, but I couldn't help one of our directors gone last week, and she came back with a different last name this week. And I just wanted to say congratulations. It means, we have two Matsons now, but there is a subtle difference. There's Matson and Matzin. And so just so you know, I know that and I see it, but I just want to take a minute and wish you congratulations. More great things happening in Pasco, and so glad to have you as part of our team. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that. And let's go with Councilwoman Blaisdell.
Okay, I just wanted to mention Pasco High dance team coach Becca has visited our chambers, I think 3 or 4 times in the last couple of years, but she retired from Pasco High dance, and I believe she could be possibly going on to better ventures. I don't know if it'll be in the Tri-Cities or elsewhere, but that is a huge loss to Pasco High. So I just wanted to, spread the word. If you see Coach Becca, tell her thank you for her service, because she made huge marks for Pasco, not only in our state, but also throughout the country. Those kids are very talented, and it was under her leadership. So thank you, Coach Becca, if you're listening.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Do we have any something that city staff would like to bring forward, or we're all good over there? Okay. Well, with that, that's going to roll us into number 13, which is executive session. And I have on here A, which is discussion with legal counsel about current or potential litigation per RCW 42.30.110, subsection 1, subsection I. And it looks like we're going to need 7 minutes. So right now it's 7:45.
I'm going to need about 10 more than that.
So 17 total?
Let's
or
do 20.
20 minutes. So that would bring us to 8:05. And with that, we'll be in exec session. Thank you. All right. It is, the clocks aren't matched in there, but it's 8:28. But we did come back at 8:27. And with that, we are done with the exec session. And so I close this meeting. Have a good evening, everybody.